Yogis, welcome. It's Kim. You will want a block or two today. If you don't have a block, couple of books or something will do nicely for you. We're going to get a little bit into the hips and the hamstrings today, play a little bit with getting balancing on our hands as well. So let's start in a seat. You can either simply sit on the heels, or if you want, you can place a block in between the ankles and sit back on that. Either way, let's have the knees together here so we kind of keep this alignment. Gather, once you've settled down, gather in and up a little through the low belly. Knit slightly in through the ribs. Lengthen up through the crown of the head and close your eyes here just for a moment. Breathe fully into the back of the heart. And exhale to just settle down here. Inhale fully into the back ribs. And exhale to just be. Inhale space into the back body. And exhale completely. And then from here, just take a couple little neck rolls. Just some small movements. If you went one direction, switching directions. And come back to center, let the eyes flutter open. Bring the left fingertips down to the mat. Inhale the right arm up, plug the right rib in, and then reach up and over to the left. Gaze can be forward, gaze can be up, but let's have the right palm face downward. So we're working on that rotation of the shoulder. Breathe into the side body. One more breath here. And then lift back up to center. We'll simply find the other side. Sprinkle the right fingertips down. Left arm up so the palm faces the center line. Knit the left rib in. Go up and then go over. Breathe into the side body. Gaze can be where it's comfortable. One more breath. And then lift back up to center. Bring both arms up at a big Y, palms face forward. Take a second, check in with your shoulders. So plug them in a little bit. Don't drag them too far down, but do plug them in. Knit the ribs in, lengthen through the sideways. Close the fists as tightly as you can. And then open them as wide as you can. Tightly as you can, close. Open as wide as you can. Faster, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open. Go as fast as you can. Trying on each end to close fully and to open fully. As you do this, make sure you're not tensing through the shoulders. So plug back into the core. Keep moving the hands as fully and as fast as you can. Should be burning some already. Take a couple more moments here. Trying to keep up your speed. And then let it go. Just kind of take a little counter movements. Good, you guys. Lift up off of the sit bones. Bring the hands to the earth here. So they're under the shoulders. We're in tabletop, and we'll just sort of roll around a little bit here. Moving weight through the hands. Good. And then from here, so you're set up on your mat. Push the earth away. So we lengthen through the elbows. Tuck the toes. Get grippy through the upper fingers. Protract the shoulders. Let the heart kind of come inward. And then pick up the knees here. Just so they're floating. So we're in this little low crouch. Keep this low crouch. Pick up the butt just slightly. You should immediately feel the glutes fire. You heard that turn on, didn't you? Feel the core fire. Keep pushing out of the shoulders. And then power into the legs to come into high plank here. If you need to adjust some spacing, you can. Grip through the fingertips. Protract the shoulders. So lift up through the back of the heart. Gaze straight down. Fire through the legs. Knit through the core. Good. And then drop the knees down, sink back. Child's pose will keep moving. Inhale, lift back up, tuck the toes, press up and back, downward dog. One more, come forward, high plank, knees down, sink back. Child's pose, lift back up, tuck the toes, lift the knees, high plank, and then downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Push the earth away still with the hands. Level through the hips here. All the little right toes face the earth. Come up high on the left toes. Drip the left heel down once more. High on the left toes. Drip the left heel down. And then come up high on the toes. Bend the right knee. Bring it into the thigh. Low lunge. So come forward. Push the earth away. Step the right foot between the hands. Lower the left knee down. Lift the torso up. Interlace the hands on the right thigh here. Scoop the pelvis under. And then we'll tuck the chin and we'll try to flex the upper spine. So think about sinking the heart backward, but try to not scrunch the shoulders up. Keep some ease in the shoulders. Breathe here. So that scoop of the tailbone, tuck of the chin, hollowing of the heart. Leave the leg position, lift the torso up, lift the left arm up, lateral bend to the right, up and over, knit the left rib in, close twist, elbow to the outside of the thigh here, hands to prayer, level through the hips, ring out through the spine, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, we're moving, set it back down, lift the back knee, set it back down. One more. Lift the back knee. Set it back down. Unfurl. Straighten the front leg. You can tent the fingers. Rebend the front knee. Straighten the front leg. Rebend the front knee. A couple more times with your own breath. And then plant the hands. Pick up the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, keep them low. We're in that crouch position. We brought the butt low down too, so we're down crouch at the back of the mat, pushing the earth away. Power through the legs, come to high plank. Press to the hands, bend the knees, crouch. Press through the legs, high plank. Press through the hands, crouch. Press through the legs, high plank. Press through the hands, crouch. We're using the leg strength. Press through the legs, high plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts, level out through the hips here. Push the earth away with the hands, come up out of the shoulders, and then come up high on the right toes. Drip the right heel down, all the left toes face down. Come up high on the right toes. Drip the right heel down, and then lift back up, bend the left knee, bring the thigh in towards the chest. Come forward, push the earth away, low lunge, left foot between the hands. Lower the back knee down. Lift the torso from here. Interlace the hands on the left thigh. Scoop the pelvis under. Tuck the chin and hollow through the heart. So sink the heart back, so we try to flex the upper spine, but keep that ease in the shoulders. Scooping the pelvis, tucking the chin, hollowing the heart. And then lift back up. Left hand stays on the thigh. Right arm comes up. Up and over. Lateral bend to the left. Knit the right ribs in. Close twist. Right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Hands at prayer. Level out through the hips. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. Lower the back knee down. Lift the back knee. Lower the back knee down. One more. Lift the back knee. And then lower it back down. Unfurl, tent the fingers. Straighten the front leg and bend the front knee. Straighten the front leg and bend the front knee. Moving a few more times with your breath. Rebending the front knee, plant the hands, pick up the back knee. Downward facing dog, back to that crouch pose. So we'll bend the knees, hover them, keep the tush low but floating. Push the earth away. Power the legs, high plank, little different. Bend the elbows slightly back, chaturanga, push back up. High plank. Crouch, push into the arms, extend elbows, butt comes back and low. Come back forward, high plank, chaturanga, push up high plank, crouch pose, straight to chaturanga. So power the legs, come forward with the elbows bent. And then push into the hands, come back to crouch. Power legs, chaturanga, elbows are bent. They can barely be bent, pressing the arms. Bend the knees twice more, chaturanga, come forward, and then push back, crouch, find the glutes, the low belly, chaturanga, elbows have a little bend, push back, crouch, downward facing dog, take a little movement, take a breath. Start to tiptoe up to the top of the mat here. We'll find a little forward fold here. We'll start to get into the hamstring. So if you're pretty bendy, you can go ahead and make this active. If you are like me and a little less bendy, we will bend the knees and re-extend them a few times. Breathing wherever you are. And then ground into the feet. Grab a block to take with you. We'll roll our way up one vertebrae at a time. We'll take our block. We're going to work on sort of scat push-ups. So we're working, but standing. So we're working on moving the scapula here. We're going to find a little bit of that hollowing of the heart. So take the block between your forearms. We have different spacing. If you need, you can add onto this a little bit more, but most of us will be fine with just the one block. Let's do it so that the palms face you when you have it down like this. We're going to bend the elbows and the palms will face forward. But first, find this squeeze. I'm pushing into the blocks with the forearms. And then bend the elbows. Now lift through the upper arms, knit the rims, gather through the low belly. Now think about wrapping the scapula, the shoulder blades, around under the armpits so the block comes forward in space. Hold it, hollow the heart, knit the low belly, find some ease in the neck. So maybe you move the head around a little bit. Now retract, drag the shoulder blades together on the back body. They probably won't touch. Push, shoulder blades slide forward, but the neck stays a little easy. And then retract, pull them back. Push, protract, retract, pull them back. Push, protract, retract, pull them back. This time we'll hold the push. Push forward, knit in, see if you can lift the elbows higher in space. And then lower them down. Keep pushing forward. Keep ease in the neck. Find the core. Lift the elbows up. Lower down a little. Maybe the legs start to work to get the low belly to work. Lift up through the elbows. And then lower down. Set the block off to the side. Good, you guys. We'll find some standing twisting. So come a little bit wider. This is just to loosen up through the spine. I like a little soft bend in the elbows. We're going to twist right and come up on the left toes. So it's like we've pushed ourselves to the right. And then come to center, twist left, come up on the right toes. And just keep moving. Twist right, come on the left toes. Twist left, come on the right toes. As fast as you want. Once you get the motion down, you can really kind of start going with this. We're coming up on the toes so that the knee moves along with us. Couple more here. And then just come back to center. Let it sort of slow down. Downward facing dog. So set yourself back up in your downward dog. We're going to do some funky little things here. So think about that crouch to that cheetah to that plank. We're going to revisit that. First though, bend the elbows out to the side, wrap them around behind you so they just hover above the earth. Think about squeezing that block, knit the ribs in, gaze back at the thighs. You should find work here. And then from here, come forward, high plank. Press into the arms, bend the knees, crouch, hold your crouch, lift your right leg behind you. And now we're gonna come to this high plank with the right knee into the right tricep. Push back, three-legged crouch. Come forward, right knee to tricep. You can add a chaturanga this time. Push back, three-legged crouch. Come forward, elbows bent, knee to tricep. One more. Push back, three-legged crouch. Come forward, elbows bent, knee to tricep. And then push back, three-legged dog. And then funky lizard. So come forward, put the right foot in between the hands, right in the middle of the mat. Tent the fingers, come onto the pinky toe side of the right foot, wing the right knee off to the side. So I have this right shin behind my right arm here. And then we get to move into this hip. Stay strong in the right ankle. Find your breath. And start to just move around, exploring through the hips. And then start to extend the right leg and rebend it. You can use the arms along with this. We'll come up to a big pyramid. So extend the knee, ground in the fingertips, plant the sole of the right foot, level the hips, lengthen up through the spine. We're high on the back toes. Bow down from here. Inhale, wave the spine up. Exhale, wave it to bow. Inhale, wave the spine up. Exhale, wave down to bow. Standing split. Shift the weight into the right foot. Lift the left leg up. And try to go for square hips here. You can always bend that standing leg a little bit if you like. You can move around if you need. Warrior 3. Shift the weight into the right foot. All the little left toes face the earth. Plug in through the core. Float the torso up. Arms can go wherever you need them to. Warrior 1. Soften the right knee. Step the left toes back and a little wide. I really want that spacing. Left heel down, lift the torso. You can always go wider here. The wider you go, for most of us, the easier it is to square the hips. Left hip point forward. Nice deep bend in the left knee. Bring the hands to the low belly. And then lift the low belly up and away. Press into the back foot. Square the hips. Inhale, float the arms overhead. Eagle arms left under right. So now bring the arms in front of you. Left elbow crosses under the right. You can grab opposite shoulders, or you can twist up through the forearms here, in which case the hands will somewhat come together. Whatever you do, reach the elbows forward in space, re-square, re-bend the right knee. For a moment, lift the heart, and then keeping the power in the legs, bow down, humble warrior with eagle arms. So this right hip is going to want to go way off to the side. Don't let it. Pull it back in. Pull it towards the back of the mat. If you're having trouble, find wider spacing in the feet here. Breathing into that hip. Unfurl the arms. Left hand to the earth. Come up on the left toes. Shoot them a little further back. And then come to the pinky toe side of both feet. So I came onto the right side of the right foot and left side of the left foot. Reach the right arm up, drop the hips, reach the right arm back, fallen warrior. Lift the hips, lift the right arm again, drop the hips, reach back. Lift the hips, lift the arm, drop the hips, reach back, lizard pose. Lift the hips, lift the arm, come all the way around so we're on the back toes. And then we can adjust as we need. Right knee is bent. And it's trying to stay in close to this right tricep. So instead of opening this up today, let's have the right toes face forward, top of your mat, and that right knee press into the tricep. And now let's for a moment point and flex. the back left toes. Good. Lower the back knee down. You can tuck or untuck the back toes, but sit all the way back and extend this right leg. So we're in this sort of lizard half splits. Lengthen through the side waist. And then rotate from the right hip. So as I rotate, my toes start to trace these little semicircles in space. And then from here, we're going back to our chaturanga. So lift up, plant the right foot, plant the hands, I should say, to our crouch pose. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Come to high plank, extend the arms, butts low, crouch pose. Find the core, find the glutes, lift the left leg behind you. And then press through the right leg, come forward, high plank, left knee to left tricep, open back of heart. Come back, three-legged crouch. Come forward, left knee to left tricep. Come back, three-legged crouch. You can add the bent elbows this time. Come forward, bend the elbows, knee to tricep. Come back, three-legged crouch, legs are working. Come forward, bend the elbows, knee to tricep. And then come back, three-legged dog. And then come forward, left foot between the hands, scooch it if you need. Tent the fingers. So now my left foot is directly in the middle of the mat. Wing onto the pinky toe side of the left foot. So that knee wings out to the side. My left shin is behind my left forearm. Oh, and now we breathe. We move around through the hips in any way that feels good in our body. We're going to stay strong in that left ankle. And let all the movement come from the hips. And then we can start to extend and bend this left knee some. And then we'll take it to big pyramid. So lift up, plant the sole of the left foot, level out through the hips, lengthen the side waist, bow down, and then wave the spine up. We're high on the back toes, and then wave the spine down, and then wave the spine up. And then wave the spine down. From here, standing split, shift the weight into the left foot, lift the right leg up. Work on squaring the hips, and then any sort of bending, any sort of movement that your body needs here, allow it to happen. Warrior 3. Lift the torso up. Re-square the hips if you lost it some. Float the hands off of the earth. So we're strong in the legs. We're strong on the core here. Right toes to the earth. Warrior 1. Right heel down. Lift the torso. Now we want that space between the feet so that we can square the hips. Bend the left knee. Bring the hands to the low belly. Lift the low belly up and away. Find the breath. Power in the right leg. Inhale the arms overhead. And then bring the arms forward. Right elbow under left. You can grab opposite elbows. Or you can twist the forearms up so roughly the palms meet. Bring the elbows forward in space. Re-square the hips. If you need to adjust your spacing, please do. Inhale, lift up through the heart. And then exhale, bow down. Humble warrior. So the right leg stays strong, and we pull the left hip back in space. We keep the left knee bent. And you can let the head go here. Breathing through the hip. Breathing through the back of the heart. Unfurl the arms. Bring the right hand to the earth. Come up on the right toe. Step that foot a little back. Come to the pinky toe side of both feet. Lift the left arm up. And then dip the hips. Reach the left hand back. Fallen warrior. Lift hips. Lift arm. Dip hips. Reach back. Lift hips, lift arm, come all the way around to lizard pose. So we may need to adjust our feet a little, that's okay. Left toes are forward, left knee follows the toes, and it gently presses into this left tricep. And even as we press that knee in, we pull the left hip back. And then we point and flex the back toes. Good. Let's find that whole thing again a little bit faster though. I promise it'll be a little more fun when we go a little faster. So ground into the hands, pluck up the left foot, crouch, bend the knees, extend the elbows, reach the right leg back, and then come forward, elbows bent, right knee to tricep. Again, reach the right leg back, three-legged crouch, and then come forward, elbows bent, knee to tricep. Three-legged crouch, funky lizard, come forward, foot in the middle of the mat, pinky toe side, wing the right knee out to the side. Take a moment to move through the hip. Big pyramid. Extend the right knee, plant the foot, come up high in the left toes. Bow down. Standing splits, pluck up this back leg. Bow down. Warrior 3, ground into the standing foot. Lift up. Let's bring forearms together underneath of you as we knit the ribs and core and level through the hips. Warrior 1, bend the right knee, back foot down, heel down. Lift the torso, eagle arms left under right, square the hips, gather in and up through the low belly, and then humble this, bow down. Keep pulling the right hip back in space. Another breath or two here. Fallen warrior. So lift up, plant the left hand, come up on the left toe so they come further back. Pinky toe side of both feet, right arm reaches up. Dip hips, reach back. One more time. Lift hips, lift arm. Dip hips, reach back, come all the way back around to lizard pose. This time, get a nice wide lizard. We'll bring the right elbow underneath of the right leg. So I'll turn around so you guys can see this. There's a few steps here. So we'll think about hollowing the heart so that we can flex down a little bit. Grab hold of this right heel with this right hand like a little lobster claw. Tuck the shoulder under. Now you notice my hip started to go way off to the side. I'm going to gather it back in, and I can soften the left knee or even set it down to do so. And then you can stay here, or you can reach the right hand out to the side. You can stay here, or you can flip the palm up, lift the hand, and bend the elbow. And now the back of my right hand just sort of rests lightly, kind of on my right hip, my right low back. Breathing here, press the right knee into the right tricep and use that to pull the right hip back in space. Now lengthen the crown of the head forward. One more breath. And then lower the back knee. Keep this little half bind if you have it. Extend the right leg as we sit back on the left heel. Active through the right foot, like I'm pushing it forward into a wall. Press through the ball of the foot. Lift our way back up. Crouch pose. Plant the hands, plug up the right foot, extend the elbows, come back to low crouch. Plug in, lift the left leg, reach it behind you. Come forward, elbows bent, knee to tricep. Press back, extend three-legged crouch. Come forward, elbows bent, knee to tricep. Press back, three-legged crouch, funky lizard. Come forward, foot is in the middle of the mat. We'll wing onto the pinky toe side of the left foot and find any movement we need for a moment. Extend the left leg, come up on the sole of the foot, and then bow down, big lizard. Pyramid. Standing split, shift the weight forward, pluck up the right leg, and then bow down. Warrior 3. Level the hips, reach back through the right leg. You can soften the standing knee if you need. Float the hands up, bring the Forearms together underneath of you, and then knit in with the front body. Find ease in the upper shoulders. Warrior one, right toes back, right heel down. Lift the torso, find your spacing. Reach the arms overhead, lift up out of the low belly. And then eagle, arms right under left. Reach forward through the elbows here. And then bow down, humble warrior. Again, we're working on pulling the left hip back and surrendering with the upper body. Lift up out of this slightly. Right hand down, right toes on the earth, pinky toe side of both feet, lift the left arm up, and then dip the hips, reach the left hand back. Lift the hips, lift the arm, dip the hips, reach back, all the way to lizard. Come up and around. I believe we forgot lizard splits on the first side, so we'll do lizard splits, and then we'll revisit lizard and we'll find our bind. So untuck the back toes, sit back on the right heel here. And we've extended the left leg and we're finding length through the side waist. And then I'm going to move through the hip here, internally and externally rotating as best I can. So you'll see the toes trace semicircles as we do this. Use your breath along with this. Let's revisit our lizard pose so we can go all the way to the bind. Oof. Lift back up. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. And this time, we're going to hollow the heart. So I sort of flex the spine a bit and dip the left shoulder down and bring my little crab claw behind the left heel. And then I can use that to tuck this shoulder under. Now my hip went way off to the side to do that. So gather the hip back in, and if you need to start to lower, all the way lower this right knee, that's totally fine. Or you can leave it lifted up. As we gather the left hip in though, we're gonna keep pressing the left knee into the tricep. We can stay here or we can bring this left hand out to the side. We can stay here or we can turn the palm up, lift the hand off of the earth, and we bend the elbow. And if we do that, in theory, the back of the hand sort of found the back of the hip, back of the waist. I'm still pulling the hip back as I press the knee into the tricep. And now I'm going to try lengthening the crown of the head forward. And I'm using my core here, and I'm using some of those push muscles that we did with that block work. Breathing into the back of the heart. And then lower the back knee down. Keep the spine if you have it. We'll revisit that half split, so you can always untuck that back toe as we sit back down and bow down. And this pose doesn't always look pretty, but it usually feels pretty good. Get active through that left foot. So through the ball of the foot, like I'm trying to press into a wall. Breathing. Good. And then lift your way up out of this crouch pose. Plant the hands, step the left foot back, extend the legs, come back, and then we'll come forward, elbows bent, right knee to tricep, come back, three-legged crouch, come forward, right knee to tricep, come back, three-legged crouch, come forward, funky lizard, pinky toe side in the middle of the mat, wing the knee out, big pyramid, sole the foot on the earth, square the hips, bow down, standing splits, spring it up, bow down, warrior three, pluck your way up there, warrior one, square the hips, eagle arms, left under right, bow down, humble warrior with eagle arms, keep pulling the right hip back. From here, split the arms, dip the right shoulder underneath, come up on the back toes, walk it further back. We're already in our bound lizard. So think about extending through this this left foot backwards, pulling the right hip back, reaching forward through the crown of the head. One more breath. Lower the back knee, extend the right leg. Find this funny little bound half lizard splits, press through the ball of the right foot. And then come back up, plant the hands. We'll find our zipper work. So tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. And again, let me rotate so you can see this. Plug the right knee into the tricep here. Come up on the right toes. Let's think about those push muscles. Let's do this with the block. Grab your block, set it in between the elbows. Plant the hands, squeeze the block. It's going to be a little tricky, but we're going to have to really find that squeeze here. Do, do, do. Squeeze the block. Glue the right knee into the tricep. Pluck up the right toes, press it behind you. Hollow out through the low belly, open through the back of the heart. Slide the right knee down towards the wrist, and then lift it back up. And then slide it down towards the wrist, and then lift it back up. Twice more, slide it down, lift it up, slide it down, lift it up. Good. Step back to high plank, lower the knees, lower the forearms. Move the block out of the way. Make your way to crouch, planting the hands, extend the elbows, lift the butt, come forward, elbows bent, left knee to tricep. Three-legged crouch, press back, extend, come forward, knee to tricep. Press back, three-legged crouch, now we have funky lizard. Come forward, pinky toe side of the foot in the middle of the mat, wing the knee out to the side. Big pyramid, sole of the left foot plants, straighten the left leg, square the hips, bow down. Standing splits, pluck your way up, lift the right leg, bow down. Warrior three, find your way off of the earth. Warrior one, right foot back, nice big stance here. Square, right elbow under the left, eagle arms. Bow it down, humble. So the legs are strong. Find your spacing. Pull the left hip back and let the upper body go. Unfurl the arms. Crab claw with the left hand behind the ankle or heel to tuck the shoulder under. Pluck up this right foot, shoot it behind you. So we're coming into a lizard. So now we're on the back toes. And then from here, we're plugging things in. So we started with this really rounded spine. We're going to make it a little longer and stronger. Reach back through the right foot or heel. Reach forward through the crown of the head. Lengthen the sit bones down or sort of lower the sit bones so you're in a longer line. And find some of those push muscles to stabilize you here. Press the left knee into the tricep. Oh, good, you guys. Lower the back knee, untuck the toes, sit back. We're here just for a moment. We're extending the left leg in this little bound half splits lizard, active through the foot. And then lift your way back up. Find your block again. Again, we're putting it kind of between the elbows. So we're thinking about wrapping the elbows together. That's our cue. As we do that, those shoulder blades come forward in space. So find that block set up. Take your time. Plant the hands strong through the fingertips. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Glue the left knee into the tricep. Find those push muscles. Pluck up the left foot, send it behind you. Lower it down to the wrist. Zipper it back up. Lower it down, some ease in the neck. Zipper it back up. Lower it down twice more. Zipper it back up. Lower it down last time. Zipper it back up. And then step back, lower the knees. Lower the forearms. Child's pose. Just for a moment. Breathe into the back body. Good. Roll your way back up here so that we're seated. From here, we're going to work on our hurdler's pose, our Koundinyasana. I'm going to teach it with blocks. So this is our flying splits. This is Koundinyasana 2, or hurdler's pose. So you can think of how someone looks leaping over a hurdle, or flying splits. We're just flying our splits into space. So what we will be doing here is stacking a block or two or a book or two at the back of your mat. What we're going to do is use this to get the back foot off of the earth to start. We'll be using that wrap and that push in the upper arm. So as we set up, think about what we did where we wrap the elbows in and we push forward and we get really strong and we stay strong in the fingertips. Now, if you're brand new to this, you can use the opposite upper arm as a shelf for just a moment, but I would love for you to not hold on that shelf because it's really not a healthy position for our shoulder to bear weight in. So step the right foot outside of the right hand, just like we do in lizard. We're going to come up on the left toes on our block or our block stack here. Pull the right hip back in space. Now think about getting that knee up high. I will show you two variations here. Get strong through the fingers, wrap the elbows, get the knee up high, start to bend the elbows. Keep them magnetizing towards each other while we open through the back of the heart. I am working here already. Glue the right knee into the tricep. Option 1, point the toes behind you, lower onto the shelf, look forward, plug in, see if that left leg will float up. That's a really great approach. If you're struggling with the openness of the hamstring or the hip, it'll still work on the strength, the balance, the straight line. Now, if you have that openness, we extend the right leg forward. I have some of that openness, so it's not always pretty looking. If you're a little flexier, it can be really lovely. Same setup, back toes here. We're going to tuck under, plant the hands, wrap, magnetize. This time we pluck up that right foot. We extend it forward. My right elbow is bent. I have a shelf here. And then I plug into the core. I reach forward, look forward as I reach back. You can hear in my voice how much I'm working, how much I am pushing. Oh, when you're done, come out of it. Roll out the wrists. I'll demo on the other side, you guys. Feel free to pause this video at any point and play around with it some on your own. If your wrists are done, listen to them. I would rather you build up strength over time because it'll be much more long-lasting. So, block to the back of the mat. Of course, eventually you can do this without the blocks. We just start with that back foot on the earth. So, option 1. Left foot comes up outside of the left hand. Right foot on the blocks. Lift up the back knee. I'm in a lizard pose, right? From here, strong fingertips. Wrap the elbows back. Get that knee up high. Find the push. Bend the elbows. Pluck up this left foot, send it behind you. Gaze forward. Lift that back leg. Good. I will do this full version on the other side so you can see what's happening with my wing arm. So we're still working on the left side. We're doing full flying splits here. Left foot outside. Plant the hands. Right foot's up on a block. Lift the back knee. So from here, I'm going to get that knee up, that left knee up as high as I can. I'm going to set myself up and then find that wrap. Pluck up this left leg, extend it. And now you'll notice my right arm is free. I'm pushing from those deep muscles. When I'm done with it, oof, I plop down. I find a little bit of countering. Good, you guys. I spent years just flopping around in this, so don't get frustrated if you're doing the same. If it came no problem to you, get rid of the blocks. Work on going into this straight from downward facing dog. Let's find ourselves a little cool down. So if you've had your nice wrist circles, that gentle release, I'll go on to a slightly deeper release for the wrists. We'll come onto the knees. I'm going to make the tightest fists that I can make, and I'm going to hold these fists here. The fingers are going to want to come undone. Don't let them. Bring your knuckles together and the backs of the hands to the earth here. Make your tight fist, shift the weight a little forward, and then work to extend the elbows. Now, when the fingers start to peel away, that's when you stop. So it's okay if the elbows are bent. Keep all those fingers squeezed into your fist and breathe into this stretch. Eventually, you might get a little more out of it. Keep the ease in the neck and the shoulders. So if they're tightening up, you can find some little movements to release them. Go to you guys. We'll release this. We'll find a brief hangman's pose. So coming onto the belly, coming onto the forearms, we'll lift the right elbow, take the left hand, thread it under, palm down. Take the right hand, thread it over. So I've tied these up as tight as I can, these arms, and they're trying to be on center. And then either you shoot the chin forward and let it hang, or you tuck the chin and you set it on this upper arm. And we'll breathe into the back, into the shoulders. Let the arms go, let the shoulders go, let the glutes release. And then lift your way up from here. If you want longer there, feel free to pause and hold longer. Unfurl. Forearms on the earth. Lift the left elbow up. Thread the right arm under, palm down, as far as it'll go to start. And then the left arm comes over and it walks away. And now I've tied as tightly as I can with the arms. Either chin forward and you sort of hang on the throat, or tuck the chin and set it on this upper arm. Breathing, let the shoulders go. Breathe into the upper back. Let the glutes go. Lift your way up out of this Sphinx pose. We've done a lot of pushing and protraction. So let's find the opposite. Forearms on the earth. Most people cue elbows under shoulders, which can be nice. You're also welcome to walk the elbows a little forward. That makes it more approachable. Tops of the feet on the ground, and I'm going to press into the tops of my feet and then press into my pubic bone. So you actually see me lift up because I'm lengthening the low back. And now the important part here is to retract the shoulder blades. So drag them towards each other on the back and then drag them down towards the waist. Press a little into the forearms, isometrically drag them towards you. So without moving, pull the forearms towards you so the heart lifts. And now repress the pubic bone down. And now retract the shoulders a little bit extra. From here, keep that active retraction. Drop the chin down. This can be a little intense, kind of depending on how tight all those muscles in your upper back and your neck are. But keep the bottom tips of the shoulder blades squeezing towards each other as you let the head go. If you want to roll a little to look one way and then the other, you can. And then lift your way up out of this. We'll close off in our heart bench. So you'll want your 2 blocks, or your 2 books, or a pillow, or a rolled blanket. I'll be doing this with the blocks though. I've got one here. This is for my shoulders. So it's going to be parallel to the back of the mat. This is my pillow. Doesn't look like a comfy pillow. It's not too bad though. Most of us are going to want it on one setting higher. So plop your tush down. Walk your way back. This parallel block, the lower one, use it to capture the shoulder blade. So I'm going to lay back on it. I'm going to tuck one shoulder blade under and then tuck the other shoulder blade under. And then I'm going to rest the base of my head on my pillow block. So take a second, tuck things under, adjust things as needed. You may need to switch the heights of stuff. We all have different bodies. And legs can do what you want. I've got soles of the feet on the earth and knees up. You could take Koundinyasana. You can extend them. You can even tent the knees in towards each other. And start to breathe into the front body. Breathe into the collarbones. Breathe into the heart. Keep the idea of breathing into things going and let all those things be in the front body, but start to put a little extra focus on the exhale. So inhale into the front body. Exhale to release fully, melt over your blocks. Inhaling into front body. Exhale to drip and melt over your props. You can spend as long as you need here. If at some point you would like to remove the blocks and take a traditional savasana on your back, you're welcome to do so. You've put in effort, now let yourself find the time to be still and to just let it marinate. Let it soak in. Thank you all so much for joining today. Peace for the body, peace for the mind, and peace for the spirit.